Welcome to this tutorial, where we explore four groundbreaking technologies transforming healthcare as we know it. We'll begin with Silico Trials, a revolutionary approach to simulating medical experiments on virtual patients, reducing time, cost, and risk. Then we'll move to clinical decision support systems, the intelligent tools guiding clinicians towards safer, evidence-based decisions. From there, we'll uncover the role of picture archiving and communication systems, the digital backbone that stores and shares medical images across teams and geographies. Finally, we'll step into the world of computer vision, where machines gain the power to interpret and analyze visual data, opening new frontiers in diagnosis and treatment. Together, these innovations are reshaping the way we discover treatments, make decisions, and deliver care. We will start with the in silico trials. So what exactly are in silico trials? The term in silico comes from the Latin word for silicon, referring to computer chips. It describes medical experiments and clinical trials that are conducted entirely through computer simulations, instead of or alongside real-world experiments on humans or animals. Think of it as creating a virtual patient population inside a computer model, running tests on them, and predicting how they might respond to a new drug or medical device, long before it reaches the real-world clinical trial stage. This approach is rapidly gaining momentum in modern drug development, partly because it can reduce costs, speed up timelines, and minimize risks to human volunteers. It's a shift from a purely physical world to a hybrid of laboratory science and digital modeling, and it's changing how we think about research altogether. In traditional drug development, a new treatment can take more than 10 years and billions of dollars to reach the market. Along that journey, countless promising compounds fail, not necessarily because they don't work, but sometimes because testing them safely and effectively in humans is too slow, too risky, or too expensive. With in silico trials, researchers can simulate thousands of different scenarios in days, not years. Imagine being able to model how a new heart drug would perform on 10,000 patients across different ages, ethnicities, and genetic backgrounds, all without needing to recruit a single human volunteer at the start. And here's another benefit. These simulations are increasingly accepted as supporting evidence in regulatory submissions. Agencies like the US FDA and the European Medicines Agency are opening the door for in silico evidence to play a role in decision making. Now let's unpack how these trials actually work. At the core is something called a computational model, a highly detailed digital representation of a biological system. This could be a heart, a liver, or even the entire body. Using existing biological data, researchers can model how a drug interacts with specific organs or tissues. These models can be patient-specific, meaning tailored to an individual's characteristics, or population-based, representing a broader group. And here's where artificial intelligence comes in. AI and machine learning algorithms can rapidly process massive data sets from previous trials, medical literature, and real-world patient records. This makes the simulations not just faster, but also more accurate and adaptable. In silico trials are being used in multiple stages of product development. In the early preclinical phase, they can help identify which compounds are worth moving forward, potentially reducing the need for animal testing. For medical devices like pacemakers or stents, engineers can test their designs in a virtual heart, simulating years of use within hours. Perhaps the most exciting application is in personalized medicine. Imagine a cancer therapy tested virtually on a model of your body, so doctors can predict how you'll respond before you ever take a dose. That's not science fiction anymore. It's happening right now in research labs around the world. Let's talk about the benefits in a bit more detail. The most obvious advantage is cost. Running a virtual trial costs a fraction of a real-world one. And speed. What could take years in traditional settings might take weeks or even days in silico. There are also strong ethical benefits. By relying less on animal testing and reducing the number of human participants in early, high-risk phases, we can make research more humane and ethically sound. And finally, scalability. In silico trials can simulate diverse patient populations that are often underrepresented in real-world studies, like rare genetic profiles or unique demographic groups. This leads to better understanding of how a treatment might work for everyone, not just the average patient. Of course, in silico trials aren't perfect. The first major challenge is accuracy. A digital model is only as good as the data it's built on. If the data is incomplete, biased, or outdated, the simulation's predictions may be flawed. Validation is another hurdle. Before regulators or clinicians trust a model, it has to be rigorously tested against real-world outcomes. And while regulatory agencies are becoming more open to these approaches, they still expect in silico evidence to complement, not replace, traditional trials. That means we need strategies to integrate both approaches effectively. So where is this heading? The future is pointing toward hybrid trial designs, where in silico methods are used alongside real-world trials to make the process faster, safer, and more predictive. As electronic health records and wearable devices generate huge amounts of real-world evidence, we can feed that data into models to make them even more accurate. And in a global health context, in silico trials could help bring safe and effective treatments to underserved regions faster, bypassing some of the cost and logistical barriers that slow down traditional trials. In silico trials aren't here to replace traditional research entirely, but they are becoming an essential tool in our medical innovation toolbox. By blending digital simulations with real-world science, we can design safer, more efficient, and more personalized treatments. For researchers, regulators, and healthcare providers, the challenge now is to learn how to harness this technology effectively, because the patients of tomorrow will be counting on it. Now let's move to the second subject of this tutorial, which is the Clinical Decision Support System, or the CDSS. Simply, we can say that it's a technology designed to help healthcare professionals make better, faster, and more informed clinical decisions. CDSS doesn't replace human judgment, it enhances it. It's like having an intelligent assistant that can analyze vast amounts of medical data, compare it against evidence-based guidelines, and then give you recommendations, alerts, or reminders that help guide patient care. Most CDSS tools are integrated with electronic health records or other healthcare IT systems. This means they can access real-time patient data and provide clinicians with relevant, personalized information at the point of care. Modern healthcare is more complex than ever. Every patient's case involves a mountain of data: lab results, imaging, genetic information, medications, allergies, comorbidities. The list goes on. No human can remember every possible guideline, contraindication, and best practice. That's where CDSS comes in. It can cross-check all this information, spot potential problems, and alert clinicians before mistakes happen, whether it's a dangerous drug interaction, a misdiagnosis, or an overdue screening. Perhaps most importantly, CDSS reinforces evidence-based practice. Instead of relying solely on personal experience or memory, clinicians get recommendations grounded in the latest research and clinical guidelines, improving consistency and quality of care. There are two main categories of CDSS: knowledge-based and non-knowledge-based. Knowledge-based systems use a predefined set of rules, facts, and medical guidelines. They operate like a massive decision tree. If X, then Y. For example, If a patient's blood pressure reading is above a certain threshold, the system might recommend checking for hypertension and suggesting treatment options. Non-knowledge based systems, on the other hand, use machine learning and AI to identify patterns in large data sets. They don't rely solely on pre-programmed rules. They learn from data, which makes them more adaptive, especially in complex scenarios where rules alone might not be enough. In practice, you'll see CDSS tools used for things like antibiotic prescribing guidance, cancer treatment planning, early detection of sepsis, and even real-time clinical alerts during surgery. So, at its core, CDSS follows a simple three-step process. First, data input. The system gathers relevant patient information. This could be from the electronic health record, lab systems, wearable devices, or even manual entry by clinicians. Second, processing. The CDSS compares this data to a medical knowledge base or runs it through predictive algorithms. This step is where the real thinking happens, linking patient specifics to medical science. Finally, output. The system generates recommendations, alerts, reminders, or detailed reports. These might appear as a pop-up in the EHR, a printed summary, or even a voice alert in some advanced systems. The goal is to present actionable insights at the right moment in the clinical workflow. When used effectively, CDSS can have a profound impact. First, it improves patient safety. By catching potential errors, like prescribing a drug a patient is allergic to, it can literally save lives. Second, it enhances efficiency. Instead of spending time searching through guidelines or past notes, clinicians can get the right recommendation instantly, freeing up time for direct patient care. Third, it reduces variability in care. Two doctors in different hospitals might approach the same case differently, but CDSS ensures they're both working from the same evidence-based foundation, leading to more consistent treatment across the board. Despite its benefits, CDSS has its challenges. One big issue is alert fatigue. If the system bombards clinicians with too many alerts, many of them low priority, users may start ignoring them, which defeats the purpose. Another challenge is data quality. A CDSS is only as good as the information it receives. If patient data is incomplete, outdated, or entered incorrectly, the system's recommendations could be flawed. Finally, integration and adoption can be tricky. CDSS must fit seamlessly into the clinical workflow. If it's clunky, slow, or hard to use, healthcare providers may resist it. Looking ahead, AI is taking CDSS to the next level. Instead of simply reacting to current patient data, AI-driven CDSS can use predictive analytics to foresee problems before they occur. For example, flagging a patient at high risk for heart failure before symptoms develop. These systems can also provide personalized recommendations, tailoring treatment plans to an individual's genetic makeup, lifestyle, and medical history. And because AI can continuously learn from real-world data, CDSS will only get smarter and more accurate over time. So, in the future, CDSS could play an even bigger role in addressing global healthcare challenges. In regions with shortages of specialists, these systems can help less experienced clinicians make decisions that align with best practices. In telemedicine, CDSS can guide remote consultations by providing real-time decision support based on patient data from home monitoring devices. Ultimately, the vision is clear. CDSS will be a core part of how care is delivered, ensuring decisions are timely, accurate, and patient-centered. That's to say that clinical decision support systems aren't just a piece of software. They're a bridge between the vast world of medical knowledge and the clinician standing at the bedside. By combining human expertise with data-driven intelligence, CDSS has the power to improve patient outcomes, enhance efficiency, and make healthcare more equitable. The real challenge is making sure we implement these systems thoughtfully so they become a true partner in patient care. Now, we will shift gears once again and talk about the third topic in this tutorial, which is the Picture Archiving and Communication System, or the PACS. Let's start with a simple question. How do hospitals store, share, and access thousands of medical images every day? The answer, for most modern healthcare facilities, is the Picture Archiving and Communication System, or PACS. In simple terms, PACS is a technology used to store, retrieve, manage, and share medical images electronically. It replaced the old film-based process where radiology departments had to store large X-ray films in bulky cabinets, and doctors physically carried them from one place to another. With PACS, everything is digital. A CT scan, an MRI, an ultrasound, no matter the imaging source, can be stored in a secure database and accessed instantly from different locations. Why is PACS so important? First, it speeds up diagnosis. Doctors no longer have to wait for physical film to be processed. They can see the images almost instantly after they're taken. Second, PACS allows remote access. A specialist in another city or even another country can review the same images in real time. This has been a game changer for emergency situations and for facilities in remote areas. Third, it improves collaboration. Multiple healthcare professionals, radiologists, surgeons, oncologists, can view the same image simultaneously, discuss findings, and agree on treatment plans without delays. So how does PACS actually work? It starts with image acquisition. PACS receives images from different imaging modalities: X-ray machines, CT scanners, MRIs, ultrasounds, using a standard format called DICOM, Digital Imaging and Communications in Medicine. Next is storage. PACS stores these images in secure digital archives. These can be located on hospital servers or in the cloud, depending on the system setup. Finally, retrieval. Clinicians access the images through PACS workstations or even web-based portals. All they need are the right permissions, and the images are available in full resolution within seconds. PACS isn't a single piece of software. It's a combination of components. First, the imaging modalities. These are the devices like MRI, CT, X-ray, and ultrasound machines that create the images. Second, secure storage. This is the digital archive where all images are kept, often with redundancy and backup systems to prevent data loss. Third, display workstations. These are specialized computers with high-resolution monitors designed for interpreting medical images. And finally, the network infrastructure. This ensures that images can be transmitted quickly and securely between the imaging devices, storage servers, and viewing workstations. PACS delivers a long list of benefits. It completely eliminates the need for physical film storage, freeing up space and reducing costs. It supports faster diagnosis because images are available almost instantly after acquisition, and they can be enhanced, zoomed in, or compared with past images using built-in tools. And it integrates seamlessly with other healthcare systems, like the Electronic Health Record, EHR, or Radiology Information System, RIS, so all patient data is in one place. Of course, PACS has its challenges. The initial setup cost can be high, especially for smaller hospitals, because it requires specialized servers, secure networks, and high-quality viewing equipment. It also depends on a reliable IT infrastructure. Any network downtime can delay access to images, which in critical cases could impact patient care. And then there's data security. Since these systems handle sensitive patient information, strict cybersecurity measures, and compliance with regulations like HIPAA are essential. PACS is playing a huge role in the rise of telemedicine. With remote access to imaging studies, radiologists can review and report on cases from anywhere in the world. AI is also becoming an important partner for PACS. Artificial intelligence tools can integrate with PACS to assist in image interpretation, flagging potential abnormalities, measuring tumors, or detecting early signs of disease. Looking forward, the combination of PACS and AI could move us toward predictive healthcare, where imaging data is used not just to diagnose illness, but to predict and prevent it before symptoms even appear. The future of PACS is moving toward cloud-based solutions, which can lower infrastructure costs, improve scalability, and allow secure access from virtually anywhere. There's also a big push for interoperability, meaning PACS systems from different hospitals and countries can communicate and share images seamlessly. And finally, enhanced patient access. Many healthcare providers are now giving patients direct online access to their own medical images, empowering them to take a more active role in their care. In summary, the picture archiving and communication system has transformed medical imaging from a slow, physical, and location-bound process into a fast, digital, and collaborative experience. It's more than just a storage tool, it's a central hub for diagnosis, treatment planning, and collaboration between healthcare teams. And as technology advances, PACS will continue to evolve, integrating AI, cloud capabilities, and global interoperability to make healthcare imaging faster, smarter, and more accessible. Now we come to the last topic in this tutorial, which is computer vision. And let's start again with a question. How can a computer see? Computer vision is a field of artificial intelligence that enables machines to interpret, process, and analyze visual information from the world, just like humans do, but often faster and at a larger scale. It's the technology behind facial recognition systems, self-driving cars, medical imaging analysis, and even the barcode scanner at your grocery store. Computer vision is a branch of AI, but it relies heavily on pattern recognition, machine learning, and deep learning to make sense of images and videos, detect objects, classify them, and even understand context. Why is this important? Well, there are countless tasks that require looking at something and making a judgment. Inspecting a product for defects, diagnosing an X-ray, or monitoring a factory floor. Computer vision can automate many of these processes, performing them faster, 24/7, without fatigue, and often with higher accuracy than a human doing repetitive tasks. It also enables entirely new capabilities. For example, in agriculture, drones equipped with computer vision can detect crop diseases early. In retail, stores can track shelf inventory in real time. And in healthcare, computer vision can assist doctors in detecting tumors or fractures that might be missed by the human eye. So, how does computer vision work in practice? Step 1 is image acquisition, capturing a visual input from a camera, sensor, or scanner. This could be a still image, a video frame, or even 3D depth data. Step 2 is processing. The image is converted into numerical data so the computer can analyze it. Algorithms and machine learning models then process this data to identify patterns, shapes, colors, and textures. Step 3 is output. The system provides a result such as labeling an object, detecting a movement, or producing insights. For example, it might say, "This X-ray shows a potential fracture," or "There's a pedestrian in the crosswalk." Computer vision relies on several core techniques. Image classification is about identifying the overall content of an image, deciding if a picture is of a cat, a dog, or a car. Object detection goes a step further, locating and labeling multiple objects in an image, along with their positions. Image segmentation is even more detailed. It divides an image into segments or regions, identifying exactly which pixels belong to which object. This is critical in applications like medical imaging, where you may need to outline the exact boundaries of a tumor. In healthcare, computer vision is transforming patient care. For medical image analysis, algorithms can scan X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans for anomalies, often flagging subtle patterns that even experienced radiologists might miss. It's also being used for early disease detection. For example, AI systems can detect diabetic retinopathy from retinal scans long before a patient develops noticeable symptoms. And in surgery, computer vision systems can guide robotic instruments or provide real-time overlays for surgeons, helping them navigate delicate procedures with greater precision. The benefits are clear. First, speed and scalability. Computer vision can analyze thousands of images in seconds, something no human could do manually. Second, accuracy and consistency. It applies the same criteria every single time, eliminating variability caused by fatigue, distraction, or bias. And third, workload reduction. It can take over repetitive, time-consuming visual tasks, allowing human professionals to focus on complex decision-making and patient interaction. However, computer vision isn't without its challenges. To perform well, models need large, high-quality datasets, thousands, sometimes millions, of labeled images for training. If the dataset is too small or unrepresentative, performance suffers. There's also the risk of bias. If most of the training data comes from one population group, the system may perform poorly on others. And finally, privacy and security are major concerns, especially in healthcare, where patient images must be stored and processed in compliance with strict regulations. Looking ahead, computer vision is becoming more real-time and mobile. With edge computing, devices like smartphones, drones, and even wearable glasses can process images instantly without sending data to a remote server. We'll also see deeper integration with augmented and virtual reality, making experiences more immersive and interactive. Imagine AR surgical overlays that guide a doctor's every move. And in autonomous systems, self-driving cars, delivery robots, security drones, computer vision will continue to be the eyes that allow these machines to navigate and make decisions safely. In summary, computer vision is the technology that gives machines the ability to interpret and understand the visual world. It's revolutionizing industries from healthcare to agriculture, manufacturing to entertainment. The key now is to balance innovation with responsibility, ensuring the data is diverse, the systems are secure, and the insights they provide truly support human decision making. Because while computers may be learning to see, it's still humans who decide how that vision is used. As we've seen, each of these technologies in Silico Trials, CDSS, PACS, and computer vision plays a unique role in improving healthcare. They share a common goal to make care faster, smarter, more precise, and more accessible. Whether it's predicting how a drug will perform before it ever reaches a patient, guiding a clinician toward the safest treatment, sharing vital images instantly across the world, or detecting patterns invisible to the human eye, these tools are pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The future of healthcare will not belong to technology alone, but to the partnership between these advanced systems and the human expertise that guides them. Our challenge is to harness them wisely, ensuring they serve both innovation and compassion in equal measure. Thank you for your time, and see you soon.